The Daily Wire has a new documentary out called My Dinner with Trump, claiming this is the Trump the media will never show you. Love him or hate him, you've never seen anything like this. And we're going to talk about it. I'm your host, Hyde. This is Hide and Seek Media. Hello, all you beautiful and amazing people. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. The show is brought to you by the Hide and Seek Media Store. If you're like me and you like to spark a conversation or just make a statement without having to say too much, click the link down below and check out all the cool merch we have to offer. And if you use code 1776, I'll give you 20% off your entire order. So, the Daily Wire has come out with this new documentary titled My Dinner with Trump. And it's just what it is, a dinner with Trump and his closest advisors where they sit down and have a meal and a conversation. And, you know, it gives you an inside look into, you know, what these kinds of things go, you know, how these kinds of things go on and what they look like. Now, obviously, there was probably some playing up for the cameras and whatnot. There was in the very beginning, you see Trump, where I guess the one of the waitresses is going to bring out a Diet Coke or whatever, and he's like, "No, I can't have that on camera. Just water, please, just water." And then she brings him a Perrier and just in the bottle, and he goes, "I need a glass with ice." And then, you know, because he didn't want to show that bottle on camera either, and it was like, okay, so there is some playing up to the cameras and some things that aren't legitimately accurate, right? Like 100% real, because in a real dinner with Trump with no cameras, no whatever, he'd probably have a Diet Coke, right, at the table or whatever.
You look terrific. Hey, Italian, how are you doing?
Yeah, I can't have the Coke. I can't have it on air. Just leave it. You just give me a bottle of water.
So taking that into consideration, I went into this with expectations that this conversation at the dinner table was going to be informative for myself and for the viewers. You had Ben Carson and Sarah Huckabee and Jared Kushner and Ivanka and Mark Meadows and a number of other people that were close advisors or members of his cabinet throughout his first term. And I thought, okay, maybe we're gonna hear some solutions to some of the problems that the Biden administration has created by not only negating some of the Trump policies that were put in place, but then some of the policies themselves have instituted on top of that. And right off the bat, it's all Trump, right? Like it's you know, it's a dinner with Trump. He walks in and he's handing out hats that say MAGA on it. Oh, check these new hats out, right? He's not been in the room 30 seconds and he's pitching merchandise, right? This is Trump, right? This is, hey, check this out. Well, these are going to be great, right? He's toting them up like it's the next hottest thing that's going to be out there in, you know, MAGA, right? It's these new hats that he's got out there. And then he starts handing them out to everybody. And of course, yeah, everybody sits there and takes one, even though it's like, how often are you going to see one of these people wearing a MAGA hat?
Do we have enough cameras? I don't know. Hi, Kelly. You know, we brought you something. This is the hottest hat.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'll explain when the cameras are off what happened and how it conceived. That is the hottest thing.
That's awesome.
Isn't that sort of cool?
All right, there you go. Let me
Well, everybody wants some.
So to me, it was kind of funny, and it's pure, you know, that's pure Trump, right? I was like, that part I bet is 100% real. I bet he walks into every damn dinner and situation and with somebody's got some kind of MAGA merchandise or you know, something of that nature to hand out. So that, that was 100%, I think, genuine. So everyone comes, they sit down at the table, right? And Sarah Huckabee's running late, so they go ahead and start without her. And I think, okay, this is great. We're going to have a conversation. There's some interesting people at this table. Let's hear what they have to say about how their administration was, what they did wrong, and what they can do better in the next term when they win in 24. And that's not what this was, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but my dinner with Trump is exactly what the media would show you a dinner with Trump is. It was every one of those people that he talked to around the table just saying how great he was and how terrible the Biden administration was. And, that what he did in his first term was groundbreaking and revolutionary and all these other things. And it was like, okay, yeah, if this is what a dinner with Trump is like, oh, please let me go to one. Because there's no way, even as a Trump supporter, I would sit there and go, hey, Mr. President, you did all these great things, and that's what we need is people like you doing great things. That's no shit, okay? That kind of stuff, like, that blew my mind, really, that I was like, this is what this dinner is? It's all of these people just touting how great President Trump was. Not one person offered a legitimate solution. Mark Meadows comes out and says something about we need strong leaders, and we had a strong leader like President Trump, and we need more strong.
But she paid a compliment to you, Mr. President, where she talked about it was not only you're her favorite president, but the policies that you put in place, from securing the border to the Abraham Accords, to a tax cut for her that she actually saw in real terms, to actually putting America first and not apologizing to our foreign adversaries for our greatness. It's those kinds of lessons that we need to continue to emphasize. And can we come back? The answer is yes, with strong leaders. I mean, we had a strong leader in President Trump, but it will take strong leadership.
Bro, who do you think you're talking to? Okay? We all know this. All of us people who are, quote unquote, ultra MAGA, domestic terrorists or whatever, all of us Trump supporters and people who want to make America great and are America first supporters, all of us out here, we already know this, right? So if this is what a dinner with Trump is really like, I don't ever see anything getting done. This is probably why what happened to him, right? And that's another thing. The whole election thing, he even in this dinner, he won't drop it. Like, I understand you're mad, okay? We all get it. You're mad, okay? But the more you throw a temper tantrum, the more you just push us to DeSantis. And if that's what you're trying to do, bravo, sir, you're doing a good job. If that's not what you're trying to do, shut up already. Okay? We get it. We know how it's being done. We can see it. We saw it in Arizona with machines not reading ballots correctly. Okay? Hello? You think that's the first time that's happened? Probably not. It's just the first time it's been brought to somebody's attention. So let's leave that, quit beating the dead horse. What's the other phrase? Let lying dogs lay, or whatever that phrase is. Something along that. I don't know exactly. But nevertheless, drop it already. Okay? Because we get it. We get it. And we understand that us as individual citizens in our states have to make sure that we put the right people in our state legislatures to make sure that our election rules are fair and legitimate in our state, because that's all we can really do, because we don't want national election standards across the board, right? Every state should have its own individual laws on voting and elections, and I'm fine with that, right? Because then you can easily discern where the fraud happens, right? Because all you have to do is look at the states that still allow things within their election rules that could open the door for fraud, right? So if you just focus on your state, right, and we make sure that all of these other red states are focusing on their states and their election laws, we can fix this one state at a time, right? It's going to take a while, and it's a long, hard fight, but it's better than burning the thing down, right? I'd rather rebuild on the foundation we already have than set the whole damn house on fire, right? It's like if my house was in a tornado and it ripped the roof off. Okay, well, shit. Now the roof and part of my house is missing. But the foundation's still here. It's still good. Most of the house is still good, right? But I just may have a smaller house now. Because my garage and 2 bedrooms of my house are completely destroyed. And so, but the foundation's still good, so we're going to keep the house and just not build those parts anymore. Well, sounds like a pretty good plan to me, right? Instead of tearing the whole house down, bulldozing the whole freaking thing, and then rebuilding from the ground up, that is a lot more work than just losing the excess crap I don't need. And that's what we need to do with our government, right? There's a whole lot of crap in our government that we don't need. We need to get rid of. But let me get back to my dinner with Trump, because I was really, really hoping that I was going to hear solutions from these people. And I didn't. It was just whine after whine after whine after complaint after complaint. And then, oh, but you, Mr. President, you were the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? And it was like, somebody give me something real. And it never came, to be honest. It never came. Now, entertainment-wise, yeah, it's like a 6 or a 7. But if you're on the fence about Trump, I wouldn't recommend watching this, because this is just going to be more of people sitting around bloviating his ego, right? And while I think that Trump did a great job, well, I won't even say great. I think he did a good job, and he was on his way. He could have been a little stronger, a little tougher on some things, but I think he was more worried about re-election than he was fixing the country at some point. And in hindsight, you should have kind of seen what happened was going to happen and said, the hell with it. If I only get one, I only get one. Let's do it all, right? And went out with guns a-blazing. But you didn't. You chose to be a politician, and it hurt you. I got to say that, Mr. President. You chose to be a politician and try and worry about a second term more than you did about the welfare of the country. And that is one of the reasons why you lost the election. But as far as this movie goes, I would say, like I said, for entertainment value, I'll rate it a 6.5, 6.5. It's okay, but like I said, if you're a huge Trump fan and you just love to listen to Trump talk and listen to him relive what he did in his administration, by all means, tune in. But as far as if you're looking for something informative, you're not going to get it from this movie. This documentary basically is just like it's some cameras around a dinner table, and everybody knows the cameras are there, and so it's not legit. Like if the Daily Wire would have told Trump that they were going to do this, but that it was going to be just, they were going to decide what dinner it was and they weren't going to tell anybody. And then they set up 4 or 5 of these dinners over a span of like 5 months, right? And filmed every single one of them with hidden cameras, right? Had the room mic'd up, and then nobody knows the cameras are in there. Nobody knows if they're being filmed. Like, well, everybody obviously would have to know the cameras are in the room, but they don't know where they are or if they're filming or not, right? And so at some point people would get comfortable because they're like, well, if they're filming, they're filming. If not, whatever. I can't see them. I don't know they're there. They'll forget about them at some point. And so you could get a little more real interaction. But I will have to say, if this is legitimate and 100% authentic interactions, like if this is a legitimate 100% authentic dinner, and this is how people act, I would love to go to one of these dinners because the president would have a lot harder questions to answer from, like, definitely from me. The president would have a lot harder questions to answer. I wouldn't be talking about what he did in his last term. I'd be talking about what he plans to do when he wins in 24. What's your first thing? Who are you firing first? How many people are you firing? What freaking departments are you doing away with, right? Like, how are we cutting down the amount of spending that our government is doing? How do we cut down the amount of taxes that the government takes in? Like, all of these things need to be done. And somebody needs to start them off. And it needs to be somebody like Trump, who can just go in there and say, you're fired, and start cleaning house. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't seem to realize, right, is that Trump is going to prove this out in 24 as well. But you don't have to be a 2-time president with consecutive terms. Okay? You can do 2 terms as a president and have a term in between them that wasn't yours. That's fine. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, that actually is a better way of doing it because you then get to see the drastic difference, right? You now see it. It's plain as day, and anybody who's watching this video who does not see how plain it is, the contrast between Donald Trump's policies and Joe Biden's policies, then they've got them blinders strapped on pretty damn tight. And I don't know if you'll ever get to see the truth. But Donald Trump, before COVID, had the greatest economy this country had ever seen. Lowest unemployment across the board. Highest wages in like 20 years. Everything was going great, and then COVID came. So, in the end, would I recommend watching this movie? Yeah, if you, like I said, if you're a diehard Trump fan, I would recommend you watching this. Outside of that, if you want to see it just for curiosity, watch it. But only if you're already a member. I would not suggest becoming a member to watch My Dinner with Trump at the Daily Wire because it's not really that great. It is what you would think a dinner with Trump would be. It is exactly what the media would tell you a dinner with Trump would be like. If you were to imagine Rachel Maddow explaining what a dinner with Trump would be like, this is what you're going to get. there is a better way to win this fight. And it is not through tech companies. It is through what the Daily Wire is trying to do. It is through what Timcast is doing. It is through what Steven Crowder is doing. It is building culture. In the end, I would rate this movie a 6.5. It's okay, but I wouldn't recommend joining the Daily Wire for this movie. If you already are a subscriber to the Daily Wire and you have, an hour and a half, 2 hours to kill, go ahead and watch it. If you're a fan of Trump. If you're not a fan of Trump, but you have a morbid curiosity, you're okay. I get that. But outside of that, it's just your regular Trump show. Basically, it's, oh, Mr. President, you're great. You're so great. So I'm going to leave it there. If you've made it all the way to the end of the video, I appreciate you guys watching. It really does mean a lot that you've made it this far. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. If you like this video, smash that like button. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video, the topic, and the channel. I love to engage with my viewers, so feel free to fire away. But the best thing you guys can do if you want to help me out is hit that share button and share this video on all social media platforms. Those interactions will show YouTube's algorithm that my video needs more impressions, and that's how we grow. So, thank you for everything you guys are doing, and I will catch you later. Peace.